It's live. All right. Welcome back to Build Your Legacy as we kick off our Season 4 Week 10 rankings. We're going to be going to Week 10 here in the next 20 minutes or so. So these will be the rankings heading into Week 10. Let me pull up the slideshow. Let a few people get in here before we get underway. This is everything up until Week 9. So Week 9, anything that happened will be in this one. This will probably be our final rankings of the season. With how fast we've been moving, I don't think we'll be able to get another rankings off on Sunday before getting to conference championship week. I'd be very surprised because I know I only have 3 games left, and we've had in the last 4 days we've advanced 3 times. So I don't think we're going to be at week 12 or 13 by next Sunday. We'll probably be at conference championship week, which by that point will be no point to do a rankings because the game's going to put people in the conference championship and the playoffs by itself. So before we get started on the rankings, though, Sterling, is there anything you want to address to the rest of the league, or is there anything you want to say?
I was just going to add on to what you were just saying. I mean, the fact that Steven's saying that we might not get another rankings off, that's just good on y'all. I think we've had maybe 2, maybe 3 advances over 24 hours this season. So that's just good on y'all, man. We got a few spots to fill, but we know the ones that are with us and rocking with us are going to keep the league going. As you can see, your guys' hard work and honestly just having fun with the game is showing it how fast we're moving. So, I mean, shoot, Sunday we might be in year 5 type.
Yeah,
so.
Would be crazy. We do have 3 or 4 people waiting to join at the end of the year, so we're gonna bring them in per usual, how we normally do at the end of the year, so they can start their coaching career in BYL. But thank you guys so much for those of you who've been rocking with us. I do want to say we made these rankings. Obviously, there's still 1 game being played. USF is currently up 42-14 in the 4th. So I think it's safe to say he's going to win that game. But unless something crazy happens and he comes back, obviously this rankings will be off. But let's go ahead and get started. I'll kick us off. Number 28, we have UNLV. Also, Georgia Southern is no longer with us. Coach Morales. He's stepping away. I think when Call of Duty came out, he kind of lost his love for NCAA, so he's not playing anymore. So UNLV at number 28, Coach Xavier Jones. You need a new team, man. I don't know what's going on. You need a team like Navy or Army or Air Force, something that you can run the triple option with, because 0-8 is pathetic. They need to fire your ass already, or you need to just get a new job. I mean, I just said this last time. This is getting unacceptable at this point. But you did move up 1 spot because Edgar left, so you're at 28 now.
All right, 27. We do have Coach McDowell, 1-7 on the season, 0-4 in conference. I mean, he's been on record repeatedly saying that he doesn't think that anybody can get a dub with this team in his league. So I mean, I've played with this team. I mean, they're pretty rough. But I mean, I think that just mixed with the coaching turmoil is going to have him here. But he's down 3 spots. Hopefully he can finish strong, come out with 3 wins or something this season.
Are you on your computer or your phone?
So I have my laptop up, but I have my phone.
Okay, I just sent you the rankings. So that way you know who you're talking about next.
Okay.
So he said maybe down bad right now, but I have the 47th ranked class. I see you. So just keep building up, man. You got to keep building up.
Yep.
What's good, Bryce? Number 26, we have Hawaii. Coach Desmond moves up 2 spots from 28. Obviously 1-7, 1-3, not having a great season. Feel like he kind of went from, I think he was 8-4 or 7-5 in year 1. He's kind of declined. Hopefully they don't get rid of him as a coach. I know he wants to be there really bad. Obviously he's from Hawaii. This is his 4th year there, so I'd have to look at his coach job security. Hopefully he can kind of pick it back up. I know he is not a 1-7 user. Like I said, in year 1 he was damn near competing for the Mountain West championship game. So I want to see Desmond do a little bit better than 1-7 for sure.
Another one here. Got Coach Caraway, Coach Ray Sean, 2-6. I think there's a typo there in the conference record.
Oh yeah, 2-5. I'm sorry, 2-5.
2-5, which is the fact he's played that many conference games is kind of crazy. But yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure if this is the scheme or he's using the scheme because of the team that he has, but obviously not the season he was looking to have. Again, I think it's going to be the theme with these next 5, 6, 7 teams. Just want to try to compete and save your job security, or I don't know, maybe some of y'all want to leave, but I know the seat is hot for the next few picks, unfortunately.
Number 24, we have Toledo. We have the man himself who just popped in the chat. He moves back from 22 two spots, 2-6, 1-3. Another one of the users who competed for a conference championship early on in BYL's history. I don't know if he wants to leave Toledo, but another one. I think he just needs a fresh start at this point. Hawaii's at 65% job security. Got you. I know. I feel like he just needs a new look. I think Toledo's kind of getting old for him. Him and Akron have been going at it about the King of Ohio deal. So I know he needs to kind of get some new look offense and new look defense ramped up for Dane. We've seen his damn recaps throwing that long hat of his.
Man, chill out. All right, right here we have Michigan. This is a weird one to rank, but we have to rank it according to the record. Obviously, this guy is a fringe top 10 user, and with the team that he has, I think he should always be in that top 10 conversation. Decided to go to Cancun or whatever, so he took a few losses, few sim losses. Had a close game with Nebraska. I didn't expect anything less. Hence why he's here at 23. I mean, he even moved up 4 spots, but hopefully he can shake some things up. He is in contention though for the Big Ten championship. I know it's going to be tough because it's going to be hard. Nebraska's probably not losing again. He doesn't play any of the top dogs in the Big Ten, but hopefully he can shake it up. He does have Illinois next week, so see how that goes.
Number 22, we have North Texas. He's currently playing USF right now. He's down by like 28 points in the fourth quarter, so obviously losing that game. But he does move up 1 spot to 22, 3-5, 3-2 in conference. This is NC State's friend. He brought in. Obviously, this is his first season, so he's got a feeling out process to do with the North Texas football program. But I'm sure he's going to kind of get everything rolling. He's wanting to get to a bowl game this year, so look forward to seeing what he could do.
Next up, we have Coach Trey Diddy, Kansas State. I like his overall record, man. I'm sure he's happy with that too. I know he had a disappointing win, a loss against Akron just yesterday or this week. I think it's just one of those things where you just got to lock in. He had a really good opportunity in that game. He's in a whole different situation that we're talking about. If he wins that game, I think it was very much in his hands. Looking at 6-3, 3-2 in conference, looking to go to the conference title game if he could lock in. But, he could still salvage a good season out of it. Still end on seven or so wins. He definitely saved his job. So, I think I don't know what his record was last year, but I know he's doing a lot better for sure.
I think he was 2-10 last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, way better.
Number 20, we have Purdue, Coach Mike Jones. He moves up 1 spot. He's sitting at 500, 3-2 in conference in the Big Ten. Was good, Ace. He's sitting at 3-2 in conference. Obviously, being in the Big Ten with Illinois, Washington State, Nebraska, and Michigan, he's in a tough situation. Purdue is the worst of those 5 teams on paper. But I mean, if you could build something in the Big Ten, and just like I said, slowly build. Then I think he'll be okay. But as of right now, I'm sure he doesn't want to be at 500. This is something he wants to progress at. He wants to compete for a conference championship. So hopefully next year he's able to do that. He's technically not even out of it this year, but has some work to do. So we'll just have to see.
It would take a lot for sure. Right here we have Coach Westside, USF. Hey man, I think again, solid user. I just think it's the certain plays and games where if they go his way, his record looks a little different. But he's 3-1 in conference. I think that's the only thing that matters. He's in the American.
No, he's in the Mountain West now.
Mountain West now, so that'll be tough. He's gonna have to lock in. I don't know if he's played Colorado State already, or if he's played Texas State. Either way, he'd have to beat one of those 2 guys to have a chance to get in. But I like him at 3-1. Just got to win out, honestly, to get in. But good user, good team. I'm sure he's going to keep building this team up. This is the team he wanted. So hopefully he proves everybody wrong with his decision to move to Tampa.
At number 18, we have Coach Grundy. Liberty 6-3, 4-3. Started off very, very hot at the beginning of the year, obviously beating Washington State. He had another big win that I can't think of off the top of my head, but two very, very big wins. He beat Tulane actually as well. So Tulane and Washington State, and he beat Tulane when Tulane was number 2 or number 3 in the ranking. So Liberty definitely had started hot. Now, obviously, starting to simmer down a little bit. 4-3 in conference. He's in the American as well. The American is a wide open race right now. One of the most competitive conferences in BYL. So far, I think there's like 7 or 8 teams that still have a chance to make it to the conference championship game, which is absurd heading into week 10. But he does move back 4 spots to number 18. He's not going to be happy. I know he wanted to be top 10, but yeah, you just got to kind of build your way back up, man. But you still have a chance to fight for that American championship. So hopefully you can get that done.
Yeah, for sure. He actually beat me when I was 2, so he beat 2 top 2 users, or ranked users. But here we do have Akron. Again, I know it's somebody who always has high hopes.
USF lost to Colorado State, by the way. Okay, that's what he was saying.
So it'll be tough, but not impossible. But he just had a good win against Kent State. I think Strick, you just gotta lock in, bro. I be rooting for you, bro. I root for a lot of people in here. Mostly people who I deem as underdogs, and they would probably deem themselves that as well. But I feel like this team could be fun. Akron could be a lot of fun and just build up. But I think he's going for another conference title this year. It's definitely doable. It's definitely in his grasp. You just got to lock in. I think that's all it comes down to. So we'll see how it goes. But Akron is definitely in the mix after that win.
Number 16, we have Marshall. Obviously, I've been very high on Ajami. He moves back from number 12, 4 spots to 16. He's 5-3, 2-2 now. Just had a big win over Liberty. Obviously, that's a quality opponent. Akron beat Liberty as well, so that's why those 2 teams are above Liberty at 18. Marshall still another team we're talking about in the American. The last 3 teams now we've talked about are all from the American, all with hopes to get to the American title game to win a conference. So he still has a potential to win 9 games and 10 games with a bowl game. So still wants to continue to push along. Not sure who he has next week, but I know he's trending in the right direction.
All right, cool. So this is we got Coach Leo the Gucci. Man,
gotta give him credit.
It's crazy. This late in the season, in the beginning of the year, maybe after the first 3 games, you got guys who were ranked low and then they start off 3-0, they're gonna jump. But this late in the season, that's very impressive. 4-1 in conference, man. That's a heck of a record. He's made incremental improvements, and like I like how he's like kind of just stayed down for the grind. Like even when he loses, he's like, you know what, we did this correctly this week and this correctly. Like he's not worried about what happened in the L column and the right column. He's like, we made this improvement and this adjustment. It's going to translate, and we're going to build on that next week. And now you're starting to see it kind of pay off, and it's starting to turn into some W's, some good ones in the conference too. So hopefully he can keep things spicy over there in that conference. But man, the Buffaloes, man, they on a rise, man.
And I do want to say something before we keep going. Hold on one second. We're going to advance after this because the last game just ended, but I understand people are going to look at Buffalo and see that he's 4-5. Why is he this high? All of his four of his 5 losses came from out of conference games that don't matter in the grand scheme of things. They don't matter. He's 4-1 in conference. Another team in the American. This is now 4 straight teams we talked about in the American. So he has a potential to play for an American championship. If he can go 2-1, he should be in the American championship game. If he goes 3-0, he's in for sure, obviously. So very excited for Buffalo. Like Sterling said, he's been kind of grinding his way with this team from Miami to now Buffalo. So shout out to him, man. He's building something over there. Number 14, we have Jason Franco and SMU. Oh, tough, man. He number 4 last week, moves back 10 spots. He was undefeated. He obviously lost 2 since then to Florida State, and he might have lost to NC State. I know he lost to Florida State for sure, but two bad losses obviously moves him back. His season's not done yet. Still get to 10 wins. Still have a chance to compete for the AC title and a playoff spot, obviously. But I know it's disappointing when you're a top 5 user and you lose to the CPU, which kind of derails your season a bit. But Florida State's a really good program, so they're going to be a tough place or a tough team to beat on any given Saturday. So shout out to him for still sticking through it. Hopefully, get to that 10-win mark.
All right, here we got Coach Red Smith, App State, 5-3 overall, 3-1 in conference. He's moved up 2 spots.
Another American team, by the way.
They're just like flooding that 25 through 10 on that list, man. So, I mean, look, man, they're competing. That's what we wanted. When these conferences got put together, I love to see it. It's just crazy. It's literally you really couldn't even project how it's going to shake out or even who's going to end up in that conference game. So, or even to see if one of those teams will come out and make it to the playoffs. But, shout out to him. Another person who's just been grinding with their team. He got a team that he likes, and I think he's starting to establish something with a team that had a little bit of juice already, and he's just building on that, which I like. So hopefully he can get some more wins, some more competitive dubs, and try to get his way into that conference championship game.
Number 12, we have Tulane. Obviously, was the talk of the town when he first entered the league. Took out UAB, who was a semifinal playoff user last year. Took out myself, who obviously was coming off of a national championship. I think he beat Tulane I beat UAB by. I know he beat me by 3 a game-winning field goal. I'm not sure how much he beat UAB by, but it was a very close game. So 2 very, very good wins. And then he dropped a game to Liberty, who we saw is now at 18. And he dropped a game to, was it Kent State? Who else did he lose to?
Not Kent.
He lost to Buffalo. If I'm not mistaken, he lost to Buffalo. So he moves back 10 spots from 2 to 12. Another American team. So I think from 12 to 18, 6 of the teams were American. One team wasn't. I forget what team it was, SMU. But all the other teams were all American teams. So, Liberty and Buffalo. So Tulane is looking to kind of right the ship. He's still in contention for that American crown. And the last 6 teams have been. So I think after this week and next week, week 10 and week 11, where it's going to start to shape out how the season's going to unfold in the American. But a lot of teams to look forward to. But shout out to Tulane, man, for coming in with the weekly recaps. We appreciate that for sure. And also coming in and shaking things up, beating 2 top 10 users, 2 top 5 users, really. And really just being active in the chat, man. We appreciate you.
All right, next up here, we got Coach Jackson, the other Coach Jackson, Utah State. Again, I think they're right where they want to be at. He's going to do what he does. He's going to control the ball. He's going to, be smart. He's going to talk himself through each play. But, he's in a competitive conference over there. I think, 3-1 in conference is nothing to shake your head at. It's just the competition did get up. So it's going to be interesting to see how he fares and just how everything shakes out over there. But, again, he's on pace for another good season, stringing them together now, really starting to build something there, really in the top as far as users go when it comes to recruiting. Utah State just might become one of those powerhouses, man. Maybe another year or 2.
All right, moving into the top 10, we have Sterling here, Washington State. He moves up 1 spot from number 11. Obviously, tough loss this week against Illinois, which we'll see here soon. Conference loss. Needs, I think, 1 or 2 things to go his way for him to put himself right back into contention with the Big Ten title game. We talked a little bit about it in the chat. He's going to need a little bit of, when I say he, I'm obviously talking about Sterling, a little bit of work to go his way as far as other teams. We don't know how far he's going to fall back because we haven't advanced yet. What rank were you in the game right now? 9, right?
9.
Yeah, so 9. You'll probably be maybe 14, 15, maybe even 13. 8. Yeah, maybe even 13, right around there. So season's not done, obviously. Still got 3 games left. I feel like this is going to be eerie similar to year 2. Was it year 2?
Yeah.
Or
where I didn't go to the conference game.
Yeah, and you kind of snuck in late and it didn't really matter. So it could be a silver lining there when you're talking about the totality of the season. Obviously 6-3 is tough though, because of all the users. I think we have 16 top 25 users in week 9, so we'll just have to see. But number 10, Washington State here.
All right here we got Arizona coach Berto. Man, 4-0 conference, 6-2 overall.
I do
Obviously,
want to say really quick, he did not lose a game since the last rankings. So he won out. I think he was
yeah.
2-2 and he won out. Yeah.
And again, up 10 spots because of it. And I think it's rightfully so, man. This team is looking good. They're clicking. He took 2 losses fairly early on. Have you guys played already?
We the last game of the year.
Okay, so that's going to be a big game. But I think at the same time, I don't think so. It's going to be that big of a game. I don't see either of you guys losing, and then
It's probably going to be a rematch situation.
It's going to be y'all two. Yeah, it's going to be y'all two again. So I don't know what playbooks y'all going to be using, trying to do a little sleight of hand. But yeah, man, somebody who's competing over there, really turning around Arizona. I know in the recruiting department doing really well, but he's having a great season quietly. So watch out for Arizona, man. They just popped into the top 10, man.
Number 8, we have UAB. Coach Sean Saban obviously took 2 losses early. I think he was 1-2, so he's 5-1 since 4-0 in conference. Another user who did not lose since we did the rankings last, so he moves up from 17 to 8. In the ACC with a tough SMU team and a tough NC State team. He plays NC State next week at Advance. This is a massive, massive game for not only ACC title implications, but for playoff hopes. This is a must-win for UAB. He cannot afford to lose this game by any stretch of the imagination. NC State has a little bit more wiggle room, obviously, because he's 8-0. So if he loses this game, he still finds himself in the playoffs, more likely than not, in an ACC title game. But UAB needs this win for confidence. And not only that, to kind of revitalize himself as, the top user, one of the top users in here, losing too early on. I know that's not up to his standards. So looking forward to see how Sean Say shakes back as he takes on the number 1 team in the ACC.
All right. At number 7 here, we have LSU, who dropped 1 spot. 4-0 in conference. He's been having some close games with the CPU, but I mean, I never really worried about Bryce over there. I have him, and I think we all did have him winning the SEC. So you'll see him in the playoffs. Could argue that he could be in the top 5, 5, 6 spot. But always going to be a tough competitor. When we get into the playoffs, that's where it's really going to show, I think. But obviously, he still got a season ahead of him. Still got some tough SEC opponents ahead of him. So he's just gonna have to lock in, like he's been. Well, hopefully, not going down to the CPU 14 and having to pull a comeback out of his ass. But he's been doing it. So
yeah, he reminds me a bit of the Miami. And I think that's the only reason why he dropped the spot. I think the teams above him kind of not only beat good users, but did it in good fashion. He's been getting the job done, though, so that's all that matters. He's been winning games, but 7 is where he sits right now. Number 6, we have Colorado State. Moves up from number 7, so they flip-flopped, obviously, Colorado State and LSU. Colorado State does have the head-to-head over LSU as well, so that played a major factor in how we did these rankings. So Colorado State does have the head-to-head win over him, and he's 5-0 in conference. So being undefeated in conference, being 8-1 overall, his only loss came to – who did he lose to?
Bruh. Did he lose to – nah. I was going to say Hawaii. But
I don't remember who he lost to, but I remember it's a loss that I didn't think he was going to lose. But head-to-head win over LSU, so – and the better record, obviously, 8-1 over 7-1. So I like Colorado State at 6. Another big-time matchup, Colorado State, Texas State next week. This game is going to be massive for Mountain West Championship, Mountain West Conference Championship, and playoffs. If Colorado State loses this game, I don't think there's a route for him. Oh, he lost to SMU. Okay. I don't think Colorado State has a route to get in the playoffs if he loses to Texas State. Texas State is obviously undefeated, so if Texas State loses to Colorado State, I think he still has a chance to get in with how the rankings will be. But nonetheless, it's going to be a big-time matchup out west. I look forward to it. It's going to be a good one. But let's move into the top 5.
Top five, man. We got Nebraska. Coach Porter, man. He's looking like the front runner for the Big Ten right now. As a member of the Big Ten, I gotta hand it to him. He got that convincing win over Michigan. I think what helps him a lot is that's really his only game against like some of the top guys, like between Michigan, Illinois, and Washington State. Myself, we all play at least two games against those top guys. But he's already got his out the way, and he's handling business everywhere else. So, he's looking like the front runner for that. And with that team, I think he's finally got them kind of clicking with the talent and just figuring out how to use them.
Recruiting.
He's doing it consistently. He's doing what he wants to do. So a lot of people don't. I don't think they want to see him when it comes to later in the season. That's crazy.
He's crazy. Number 4, we have Illinois. Another guy who has kind of been like Arizona, like Utah State. Very good season, but under the radar. Dev Rufus has not been in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. He has not been in the chat. He's not been talking. He has his head down and he's balling out. He's sticking to business. Moves up 6 spots from number 10 to number 4. Obviously, the big win over Washington State this week puts him in prime position to make his way to a conference championship game. Obviously, didn't make it last year, so he wants to avenge that. But shout out to Coach Rufus, man. One of the more entertaining streams you could watch. And he's been getting the job done with Illinois. I know he was happy to move on from Fresno State and leave to Illinois. So 7-1, 5-0, should get to 10 wins. And he's looking like he wants to make the playoffs. So shout out to him, man.
I was gonna say he has a big game against Michigan, I believe, this week. So
yeah, it should be a big matchup in the Big Ten.
Yeah. All right, number 3, we have yours truly. We have Boise State moving up 2 spots. You can continue to see this trend as he's going to continue to kind of move up the rankings. He's got potential Biletnikoff winner. Is your running back?
Nah, he's not doing nothing. Bro.
Okay, not this year. Not.
Well, he's number 2 in yards, but he's not in the
Heisman. Okay, but still, nonetheless, Coach Jackson, he's gonna do what he's gonna do. Again, fairly favorable schedule, I would say, going forward. Been doing very well against the CPU opponents, and then you just got to finish the season strong against Arizona, probably twice, which is going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting to see. This is going to be their, third or fourth matchup?
This will be our 4th time playing.
4th matchup, 4th and 5th matchup, potentially.
Crazy.
So I think that's really what it's coming down to. We're obviously looking at it that way. He is not. He's looking at who he has next, as he should be. So, Boise State here at 3, looking good.
Number 2, we have Texas State. One of the last 2 undefeated teams that we have in BYL as far as users go. I don't know if there's any CPU undefeated teams. I don't think there is, but he moves up 1 spot from number 3. 8-0, 4-0 in conference in the Mountain West. Like we said, big matchup against Colorado State this week. A win against Colorado State would not verify. What's the word I'm looking for? Solidify. I would say solidify and kind of stamp that he's kind of turned the Texas State team around. Obviously, question marks after year 1 when he lost to the seniors, had to slowly build his way back up. We are heading into we're in year 4, and he has yet to make the playoffs. I know that's something that he's been beating himself up over. So I know he wants to make the playoffs. And I think a win against Colorado State puts him in prime position, even with the loss in the conference championship game. So he's looking at it as essentially this game you win and you're in. I'm pretty sure he probably won't admit that, but I know how he thinks. So he's at number 2 right now, 8-0, 4-0, having one of the best seasons in BYL. There's only been 1 undefeated season in BYL history in the regular season, and that was me in year 1. We have 2 teams that could do that this year to match that. So shout out to Texas State being one of those 2.
All right, and then here's the other one who could get it done. I think he will, man. Coach Trill, another one under the radar, just grinding, got his team right. Kind of reminds me of this Nebraska team. They got speed, they got a lot of talent. I feel like his team wasn't right where he wanted it to be when he first got them, but it took him a year to get them there. And it's looking like the best team in the country. Not even just as far as users. He's been number 1, for a while now, since the beginning of the season. So, I mean, look, 4-0 in conference, undefeated overall. Another
Big game this week. Big game this week.
Big one, man. There's a few. There's like 4 like marquee games that I'm looking forward to, which y'all need to play tonight. So I'm trying to watch. I got my popcorn really tight. You know what I'm saying? But I'm proud of you, coach, man. Keep grinding, man. Just if you see me in the playoffs, I want you to act different than how you've been acting. That's all I'm gonna say.
But that is going to wrap up the Week 10 power rankings for BYL Season 4. Like I said, next week will probably be in Conference Championship Week, if not Week 15. So we probably won't do a ranking show. We may do like a award show. So I might put out a Google Docs for everyone to fill out. I'll probably work on that sometime this week. If everybody can kind of take part in that, that would be cool. We have a live award show, get some more activity here in these lives. But Sterling, is there anything you want to hit the people with before we head out?
Man, let's just keep grinding. We're almost to the end of the season. Everybody just keep trying to schedule your games. Like, I think the key thing is just, even if you get scheduled the next day, just communicating that first 24 hours. Again, we've been doing really good with it. I think we just have such a high standard and such a high expectation for it. I know everybody gets a little antsy when you get to 25 plus hours in a week. So, but honestly, just keep it up, keep it going, man. Let's just keep having fun with it. Keep it as non-toxic and cordial in the chat as we can. But other than that, man, I'm having a lot of fun. I know y'all are too, as it shows. So let's just keep it going.
Definitely. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and end the live. Hop on in advance so we can move on to Week 10. I'll post a picture of the playoff bracket in the chat. We should get the first playoff rankings this week. So looking forward to that. We appreciate you guys. As always, if you haven't already, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also go to the recommendations tab in the Discord if you guys have any recommendations. Like I said, we're going to do an award show later in the season, and then we're going to do preseason rankings for next year, and we're going to do random people sending in their preseason rankings. So it's not just going to be the commissioners this time. So please make sure you're active in there. The more activity, the better. Thank you guys so much, and I will get on advance right now. Peace out, everybody.
Peace out.